everybody. It is so good to be together again today. I'm Beth.
My name's Joel, and we've been doing a series lately, and it's been called Up Close and Personal. And throughout this series, we've been looking at the lives of the men and women who were up close and personal with Jesus. I realize Jesus is no longer with us in person. You can't sit down with him and have a cuppa. You can't give him a ring and ask him if he could give you a hand-moving house. You can't invite him to come over for a barbecue. He isn't here in person.
I think it's helpful to realise that when these stories were written, the authors weren't actually writing the stories that we have in the Bible for you or for me. They actually had no idea that these stories would be read thousands of years later in different countries and different cultures all around the world. In fact, I think they'd probably be shocked to know that the stories that they wrote have been included in the world's best-selling book.
See, these were first-hand accounts. Their experiences were verifiable. They mentioned specific details like names, places, occupations.
For example, the story that Richard shared with us a few weeks ago about a chief tax collector named Zacchaeus who lived and worked in a place called Jericho.
Or when Elaine shared about the two disciples, Cleopas and his wife Mary, who were on the road to Emmaus, 7 miles from Jerusalem, and where they were going and what they were doing.
And what about when Sam shared with us about Nicodemus? He was a Pharisee who was a member of a group called the Sanhedrin, and he was a respected teacher in the community that he lived in.
When these stories were originally recorded, you could go back and verify the details. They've just given you their names and their addresses. So we could head over to Jericho and go see Zacchaeus, or ask people about Zacchaeus who lived there, the chief tax collector. We could go and find out Nicodemus's family and ask what it was like. How did Nicodemus become a follower of Jesus?
It'd actually be kind of cool to be able to do that, really. But this series has been about the real up close and personal experiences that people had with Jesus on the earth. So what does that actually mean for us today in 2020, where we're unable to have the same kind of first-hand experience with Jesus?
Jesus repeatedly told his followers that he was actually going to be leaving. He told them over and over again that he wasn't going to be there forever in person in the flesh. However, he did also promise that they would not be alone, that we would never be alone. As we talked about on Pentecost Sunday, this was the day when the penny dropped. The followers of Jesus realized that Jesus was still with them. It just was different to how it had been before. Jesus was with them not as an external or impersonal force, but actually Jesus was inside them. His Spirit was with them, and wherever they went, whatever they would do, he was with them. It became a total paradigm shift, a new way to look at things, a new way to live.
Yeah, this Pentecost Sunday was the moment that the walls just came down. It was the moment that the church was born and a movement started that went from a small corner of the earth, a small corner of the ancient world, and a new way for everybody to live was brought in. A new way where God lived inside people, and each one of us was gifted and enabled to play a part. We weren't defined by, and we still aren't defined by, our gender, by our age, by our occupation, or by our nationality. And I love that verse in Acts where Peter writes, "I will pour out my Spirit on all your sons and all your daughters, the young and the old, the slave and the free."
This described the early church, and it should be the description for followers of Jesus today. Nowadays, people discover what Jesus is like by getting up close and personal to his followers. The followers of Jesus show the world what Jesus is like. We are the ones who can go into broken places, broken lives, and do whatever we can to help rebuild and restore. We are the ones who are supposed to go into places of injustice and speak up and speak out. We go into marketplaces and workplaces. We go into supermarkets and shops and sports arenas and pubs and cafes, and wherever we go, whatever we do, we are the representatives of Jesus. Here's some really practical and personal instructions. It's taken from the book of Philippians, and we're going to read it to you from the Message translation. The Message is a paraphrase that puts it in words that make it a bit easier to understand what's being said.
If you've gotten anything at all out of following Jesus, if his love has made any difference in your life, if being part of a community means anything to you, if you have a heart and you care, then please do me a favour.
Agree with one another. Love each other. Be deep-spirited friends. Don't push your way to the front. Don't sweet talk your way to the top. Step aside and help others get ahead. Don't be obsessed with getting your own advantage. Forget yourself long enough to help someone else.
Think of yourselves the way Jesus thought of himself. He had equal status with God, but he didn't think so much of himself that he had to cling to any special advantages. When the time came, he set aside the privileges of deity and took on the status of a servant. He became human, and he stayed human. It was humbling. Jesus didn't claim special privileges. Instead, he lived a selfless, obedient life, and he died a selfless, obedient death.
So keep on doing what you've done from the beginning. Or better yet, redouble your efforts. Be energetic in this salvation life. That energy is God's strength deep within you. God himself working in you and through you.
Do everything readily and cheerfully, without squabbling and arguing. Sounds like the conversations we have with our kids and each other, to be fair. So do everything without squabbling and arguing. Go into the world uncorrupted. I love this bit. Like a breath of fresh air into this broken society. Provide people with a glimpse of good living and of the living God. Carry the light-giving message into the night, and you will shine like stars in a dark sky.
The followers of Jesus are supposed to be the ones demonstrating to the world what Jesus is like. We are the ones supposed to be shining bright like stars in the night sky.
The way we treat one another in community, the way we treat one another in society, the way that we care and just give to others, the way that we honour people and affirm and recognise that we are all equal before God. We're not superior to anyone else. Male is not superior to female. Old is not superior to young. One race is not superior to another. The way we love others demonstrates what Jesus is like. This is how others can get up close and personal with Jesus today.
Jesus entrusts his message to his followers. He chose us with all of our various skills and personalities and gifts to be his representatives. Whether you are a builder, whether you run a company, whether you work in retail, whether you drive a bus, whether you do deliveries, work in a garden, whether you teach students, nurse the sick, organize people, organize data, whether you fix cars or fix animals or fix people, You are uniquely gifted and chosen.
We're keeping it real here. Just had to pause recording because the neighbour started trimming the grass and doing the lawnmower, and Evan needed us to help him with his bike. So, hey, this is life. Carry on.
We're back. So Jesus entrusts his message to his followers. He chose all of us with various skills and personalities and giftings. Whatever it is that you do, you are uniquely placed and uniquely gifted and created by God and chosen to be his witness and representative.
Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, whether you're driven by feelings and emotions, or whether you're really logical and thought-based, you are a representative of Jesus. It doesn't matter whether you're employed or unemployed. It doesn't matter whether you're old or young or male or female. It doesn't matter what your ethnicity is. You are chosen by God to be his witnesses.
To those who are followers of Jesus, our responsibility, our mandate is to shine bright like stars in the night sky. It is to demonstrate Jesus in our everyday moments of everyday life. It's our responsibility that we show others what Jesus is like through the way that we treat one another in community and in society.
As we close out this series of Up Close and Personal today, let us be reminded to be those who love Jesus, love others, and love life. Let us be those that live in such a way that we can be a blessing to our families, to our colleagues, to our friends, to our neighbours, and even to those people that we just randomly bump into on the streets.
Let's be those who help people discover more about Jesus. We're going to close now by singing a song called What a Beautiful Name. And it reminds us about the incredible love of Jesus. Let's worship together now.
Thank you, Jesus. You were the Word at the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you are Christ. What a beautiful
Thanks so much for joining us today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this up close and personal series. If you've missed any of them, you can jump back onto YouTube. You can catch all of the previous messages there. Also, you can get them from our website and from our Facebook page. So please go ahead and do that if you missed anything. Remember to like and subscribe to this video so you don't miss any of the content. And we want to just make sure that you stay informed and up to date with everything. You know, maybe a friend of yours has sent you a link to this video. What a great thing to have done. You know, why don't you ask them some questions? If you're curious about some of the stuff that we've been talking about, you know, ask them some questions. You can also read for yourself some of these first-hand accounts about the life of Jesus. They're in the biographies about him. It's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They're part of the book which is called the Bible. There's 4 biographies about the life of Jesus in there. You go ahead and read some and find out a bit more. Please also connect with us, and we're a family learning to follow Jesus. We're discovering what it means to live and love the way that Jesus loved. We'd love to be in touch with you, and you can find out how to do that by the descriptions in the video. Please reach out. We'd love to be in touch.
We're also really excited about the course that we've got starting tomorrow evening, Sunday. We're also really excited about the course that we've got starting tomorrow evening, Monday the 15th of June. If you are interested in that, then please check out the 5 Things course that's on our Facebook page or the YouTube channel or the website, and you can sign up for that through Church Suite, and we would love to see you there. Next week we have guest speaker Alan Scotland, who oversees LifeLink, and he's bringing a Father's Day message to us. And as it is Father's Day, we have some things in the pipeline for all of the men who connect with us as a church family, so make sure that you are checking your emails to find out details of those things that are upcoming.
And please remember, if you've got a joke, send me your best or
Worst.
dad bloke joke, okay? Send them across to me. Details, we're on an email. You can send those jokes across to me. And just before we go, I want to leave you with this. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot.
Oh.